Hello, Greg here from MasterTrader, doing an update here after the Fed announcement. If you read the letter at the end of last week, you knew we were looking for the markets to move up, and that letter was titled Possible Sucker Rally Coming. And it was titled as such because of the fact that breadth has been deteriorating considerably since the rally actually started, and that is historically a bad sign. Now, that being said, it was quite oversold, and prices had pulled back to areas of support, and that generally suggests that the markets would move up. And they began to. Obviously, the markets were nervous ahead of the Fed announcement, but historically, that really doesn't mean a lot in the bigger picture, as as it relates to what's happening over the next several days. And we have to put that in the context, of course, of the existing uptrend and such. We always do get the gyrations on that day, and then prices typically then they follow through in alignment with the trend and what the internals are telling us. Now, as you can see on the chart here, the Dow, we did get the retest. I spoke about that in this morning's video, as that being a better setup than what we previously had, meaning the V bottom that was had it formed here. And I had said, well, we're going to need to see prices get above this little consolidation here, and then they did on the announcement. And now we pretty much have a clear shot up toward the highs. That being said, we will follow the trend on the intraday time frames, and from a daily time frame, our first reference point of support is going to be the prior candle's low. And clearly, with a green candle like we have formed here today, if it was to break below that tomorrow, clearly, obviously, a bad sign. One of the things that I mentioned last night was the fact that the transports have been showing relative weakness as opposed to the relative strength that they were showing just before the letter calling for the end of year rally on November 6th. So now we need to see, can these transports participate in the move that started today, and we'll see if that continues in general into the end of the week, and then we'll possibly next week. So we'll follow along day by day. With the S&Ps, they look like the Dow had a nice move up here today, and I had mentioned the fact that the NASDAQ, and this is the ETF, NASDAQ 100, that it had been showing relative strength, and it should hit new all-time highs if they got going here today, and clearly they did. Now, interesting enough, on the increase, gold was a great performing sector today. And you can see the S&P minings and minerals here had up almost 5% on the day. GDX closing in on 8% on the day. Big day up here. Not really sure what to make of that with interest rates going up. So we'll just see how much this follows through. It had broken down, and let's look at the weekly chart. Pretty sloppy breakdown here, retest to the highs. Maybe it's a higher low. We'll have to see how far this gets. Russell showing relative weakness as well, but had a good day today. Good, hit the 20 MA here and some resistance, and stopped right there. And we'll see what kind of follow through that this has. And just as we always do, we follow the trend in multiple time frames. The weekly is still in an uptrend. The daily, in case of the Russell here, it broke through some support, hit the next support, came back up. So sloppy kind of trading range going on here. That being said, we have oil and gas, as I mentioned last night. The breakdown here that took out the low and then the bottoming tail, being a good setup for a move higher because of the taking out of that support, the shakeout, and looking for prices to move up in that sector, which has been underperforming. I had mentioned last night rig, one of them here, and that had a nice move up as well. Now, let's take a quick look here at the internals which the reason why we were looking for this rally right here is it getting deeply oversold, and the most oversold it's been since the November low. And you see, as it was chopping around here during the rally, that's what you want to see, and ideally moves up toward the overbought level, which it didn't do. But this move down here to this deep oversold level is a concern, because as the market is moving up, and here you see all-time highs, and possibly coming all-time highs in the S&Ps. We'll see what the Russell does. You want to see this market internal showing strength. A lot of stocks participating, and this moving up toward that 100, possibly even 200 level. A little short-term concern is, well, you had option traders here jumping on the bandwagon today, which they typically do, but a close here at an extreme, excuse me, I still have this cold. Here at an extreme, a closing level here. Short-term concern for tomorrow, possibly. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see what effect that might have. We typically don't like to see option traders, getting bullish as the market goes up right away. So, very short-term concern. The moving average is neutral and has been for a long time. And one of the reasons we considered the market could continue higher besides the uptrend, because option traders have not gotten that excited with the MA, excuse me, has come down to an extreme level. Should be no surprise that they raise they're raising interest rates, with short-term interest rates having moved up here. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Sorry for the coughs, but a little under the weather here. So have a great trading day tomorrow.